The Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce joins us now. Thanks so much for your time. First of all, what is happening in the Hunter this morning? Activists are causing all manner of havoc on the coal lines there.
Well, completely and utterly unreasonable what these people are doing in blocking coal trains. $1 million per train. That means it's about $100,000 of royalties. What that means is they're blocking payments to your hospitals, to your police, to your schools. The tax revenue, they're blocking payments to your NDIS, to your PBS, pharmaceutical benefit schemes that subsidise your medicines. They're blocking payments to your pensions. They don't care. Many of them probably on social security themselves. They're quite happy to stop the money, but they're quite happy to live off it. And they don't acknowledge that this is the money that tries to balance the books of the nation. Not only are they blocking the coal, they're also blocking the wheat. So we've got a harvest on, we've got a rain on, we're trying to get product to the port, they're blocking that. They're blocking the commuters who are just trying to go about their everyday business because they believe that their worldview reigns supreme. And if you don't agree with their worldview, they have a right to impose themselves on your life, impose themselves on the finances of your state, impose themselves on the finances of your nation. Because apparently, if they can't do it legally, they'll do it illegally. And then they think, oh, well, we're morally justified because this is our worldview. Well, if everybody acted like that and said, well, every time I have a different view to what's legal, I can just impose myself. I can shut down the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I can shut down dairy farms because I don't like methane. You know, I can shut down concrete plants and people doing up their houses because the carbon emissions in that. I mean, this is we've got to call these people out. And just because they're sort of they're the zeitgeist and have the philosophical following and are absolutists in the Greta view of the world, the Greta Thunberg view of the world, well, that doesn't give them the right to put our industry, our finances, our wheat farmers, our grain farmers, our coal producers, our commuters at risk because they want to put themselves on scaffolding or sit on top of a train trying to shovel train out of an 80-tonne carriage.
Well, perhaps you would have preferred what Simon Birmingham got this morning, which was just a bit of dung at his office in Adelaide. But still, well, you're making the point about, you know, cancel culture. But isn't it a bit of a stretch to say that coal is the backbone of the nation that pays for our hospitals? It's one fraction of it.
It's the biggest export in New South Wales by far, over $1.5 billion. And the royalties are incredibly important. In our nation, our biggest export is iron ore, then coal, then gas, then daylight, more daylight, then other things. And then you've got agricultural products such as wheat, which are blocking as well.
Yeah, but sure, isn't the biggest problem for farmers and agricultural products at the moment is they cannot get the workers onto their farms and crops are just rotting on the vine. I mean, are you fighting for international workers to get here sooner rather than later?
Well, that's why we brought in the ag visa. Of course we are.
Sure.
And of course we understand that. There are jobs Australians don't want to do. But what's the point of getting the crop off if you've got some clown down in the Hunter Valley stopping it getting to port? Like, they're not paying for the wheat to arrive at Muswellbrook. They're paying for it to arrive at the port of Newcastle, and these clowns are stopping it. These people, you know, the Greta tribe have decided they're going to shut down the biggest coal export terminal in the world. And people say, oh, I don't like coal. Well, I tell you what, you like the money when you go to the hospital and there's a doctor there. You like that.
Just before I let you go, and we've only got about 30 seconds, I mean, you say that these people are imposing their views on everyone else, but can you really ignore the views of those city dwellers as well about what they want to see on climate change?
Well, obviously you've got people in the city understand where if you kick the biggest income earner out of your house, and coal is the biggest income earner for New South Wales, and export dollars, then your currency's not worth much. See, the only reason people can buy a Toyota in the middle of Sydney is because of terms of trade. So look around your life, look at all the things that are imported and ask yourself this question. Who puts product on the boat and sends it in the other direction? Called terms of trade, underpins your standard of living. All
right, let's have a longer conversation about this at a later date. Barnaby Joyce will have to leave it there. Thanks so much.